How's it, everybody? Welcome back to the Rocky Fern. Today we're doing another episode of In the Shop, and we got something pretty cool. We're going to be taking a really cool piece of koa, and I found this on the ground, and it's just full of character, all kinds of compression grain. There's some flame in there, all kinds of cool stuff. It's super gnarly, which would make a really cool piece. You can see the bark here actually has some really cool features to it. And I just cut out a piece. We're going to be making a toothpick holder dispenser for my brother, and he suggested to go with clear, because a lot of this clear resin, that is, because a lot of this termite damage or whatever this wormhole damage is going to go away, I think, and whatever's left behind we'll fill in with clear resin, and it should look pretty sweet. But this is such a cool piece. And after last week's video, that thing took forever with the pedestal box. This is going to be a nice, pretty simple, direct piece to finish, which will be nice. And with this piece of wood, it's going to look incredible. The other reason I want to use resin is because this is a pretty punky piece. I find that resin is going to help solidify this piece and make it durable for the long-term use. But I find that koa that actually ends up having so much character in it can be really difficult to work with and turn, because it wants to break and flip and have tremendous tear out. So anyway, without further ado, we are going to continue on. I'm going to turn this into a nice little cone, or rather cylinder, and I'm going to fill just a black PVC pipe. This is the 2-inch pipe that I've lined with some resin tape, and just has a little silicone stopper, and I'll put it in and fill it up with resin, put it in the pressure pot, and we'll get started that way. So join along, let's see what we can turn out. Okay, so we are going to just put a little spur drive into this right here, just to get it round. Nothing crazy, and that seems about where I want to be. Get that turned in. Fit it in here. That'll be enough to do what we need, just because we're gonna rough it out real quick. I noticed after last week's video, all the footage that I compressed into, like, I sped up the footage, it created all these duplicates, and it took a lot of editing to actually find all the duplicates and get them out of there. So I noticed even on the final draft I had missed 1 or 2 duplicates, so I apologize for that. There was repeats in the video, but hopefully we can get away from that this round. But I gotta show you, I'm gonna flip this around. You gotta see this. This is gonna be such a cool piece. Let's turn it around. Hey, look at this. Oh, look at that. That's gonna be so cool. Yeah, this is gonna be a really cool piece. You can see these are the voids I want to fill, so hopefully we can do that and it will be fine. All right, let's do a rough fit here real quick and see if this will work. Ah, perfect. Okay, so this will work. So like I said, 10 inside up. It's gonna go just like this. Once we get it in, we'll pour some resin in here. Now we're gonna use a deep cast ultra clear epoxy to use in this. That will leave enough time for me to put it into the pressure pot and have it push the resin into here while giving enough open time for the bubbles to escape out. So this should be a pretty darn clear, bubbleless appearance, and we should be turning away a lot of this outside resin anyway. So all you're gonna see is what looks like just glass filled holes, or what we call pukas here in Hawaii. But yeah, so let's get that going, and then we'll mix up some epoxy. Okay, so it does fit, but it was a little long, so I ended up cutting about almost 5/8 of an inch off, and I will turn this into a ring. This has some really pretty grain to it anyway. So now it fits, gives me a little bit of headroom there. I don't want to go above the tenon that I turned in there. I have a 2-to-1 ultra clear deep cast epoxy in here, or deep pour epoxy. And this, like I said, is really good because it has that really long open time, which will allow bubbles to escape. I've mixed it off camera for at least 5 minutes, and I'm really hoping that I did it right. I did 40 grams of part A and 20 grams of part B. So that's 2-to-1, right? And this should be enough. If it's not, I can always pour more. Witness lines won't matter, mainly because you shouldn't see a witness line being clear unless there's dust getting in between the two pores. But let's see what we can do here. It is scraped really well. Let's bring it in, and you can see me pouring it in here. All right, here we go. Let's see. Let that slowly sink in. Now again, the resin is going to impregnate a lot of this punky wood that we have here. I'm hoping it goes down further than that. We could always turn another tenon on actual pure resin if needed. As long as you're compressing resin, you'll be okay. You don't want to expand out into like a mortise and trust it, but I'm not seeing this move around, so let me just kind of jostle things around here and help me out. There we go. Help my worries. Uh-oh. That might be it, guys. I didn't need a lot. I think actually once I get it into the pressure pot, this will push into the resin and really solidify the wood. But it's, oh man, that's gonna look so good. It's gonna look really, really good. And the nice thing too about resin, wood that's impregnated with resin, is it sands and polishes really, really nicely. So let's get the pressure pot ready. Alright, this is just a DIY converted Harbor Freight painter pressure bucket, I don't know, that I converted over into a pressure pot, and it does the job really well. So that's where it's going to go. Alright, so we're going to just put the lid on here, we'll clamp it up, and we'll air it down, and then we'll come back here in probably 48 hours just to really give it time to solidify. It may be turnable tomorrow, but we'll see. I also put some mold release inside the tube, and that will hopefully help just get that out. But I'm really hoping that when we open this lid, we will see that the resin has been pushed and impregnated into the wood. All right, so it's out of the pressure pot. I had to do a second pour because it did drop down. This wood is very porous. We didn't end up with a fully encapsulated piece, but it is super pretty. It's going to be really hard to showcase that underneath the resin, but it's got a lot of chatoyancy, a lot of figure to it. So I'm going to throw it on the lid and turn a tenon on both sides, and then we can split it, get it hollowed out, get some final shaping done on it, and get this project out. All clear resin at the end there, so we can turn that away. How are we looking? Alright, not too bad. Okay, you know what, before I do that, let me turn a little dimple here, and then we'll get a depth, how deep we're gonna go. Okay, how deep we going here? We're thinking probably right there. Okay, hauled out. We have the Badger tool, #1 from Hunter Tools. Okay, now let's turn the tenon here to fit the lid. Let's get measurements with the caliper real quick. Whew, look at that. All right, so I will tape this up because overall, I like the shape. I mean, it's just basically a box that has a hole in the top, a purposeful hole. Okay. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. This is like my favorite part of the whole thing. Jeez. Yep. I'm a fan. Wow, that is so sick. Okay, so let's tape it up, and then I'm gonna finish taking this little nub off. And this is also where I'm gonna put the logo, and then we'll flip it around, get the top done, drill our hole, and should be good. Yep. I like it. Okay. Alright, let's get this thing turned around. Yup. Look at that. Okay, so things didn't turn out the way I expected them to. So here's the finished toothpick dispenser. It's beautiful. It's got amazing grain. I haven't finished topping the coating the top, but the top has really good figure to it. Really, really pretty. But it's entirely too short. I don't know what I was thinking. I thought it would fit. The toothpicks stand out of this puka the hole by another ½ inch. So fortunately, Mike, you're gonna have to wait another week or two for me to turn a much longer toothpick dispenser. But I've learned from this one. So the puka is a little bit too big, and I actually put salt in this, and it makes a wonderful salt dispenser. So that's what this is gonna be. I gotta keep this piece and just have a nice little pretty salt dispenser. So that's that. You know, tune in next week or the week after for us to start that project. But before we go, I'll just show you this. I made a nice, what do you call this? A cookie jar for a beloved aunt of mine, and it turned out really well. It's made out of African tulip wood, and she loves fall colors, and so that's what I did. I went with fall colors, but with a kiawe handle. Not sure what you'd call that, but yeah. Anyway, just thought I'd show that off. I didn't film me making this, and it ended up turning out quite nicely. So this one did turn out the way I wanted it to, whereas this cute little guy did not. So thanks for joining, and we'll see you guys on the next adventure.